dark as the caveman period was before the abacus. Come and see for yourself if you don't. After a demonstration, you will understand what is possible.
A casino-bound charter bus flipped over in Northern California, ejecting passengers and crushing others as it rolled into a ditch. It happened at about 6:10 p.m. local time last night. 10 people died and dozens of others were injured. The crash happened on a rural road near Williams, California, about 60 miles north of Sacramento. According to the California Highway Patrol, it looks like they were going to have a good time at the casino. Unfortunately, it resulted in a tragedy. Authorities have not yet determined the name of the charter company, and they, of course, have not released the name of the driver. The Associated Press is coming out with a study this morning indicating that the oil rigs in the Gulf of Mexico, in fact, sustained some damage during the past two hurricanes, Gustav and Ike. Apparently, the massive waves of both storms not only destroyed the oil platforms and punctured pipelines, but at least 500,000 gallons of crude oil spilled into the Gulf of Mexico. Again, this is according to an analysis of federal data by the AP. In the days before and after the deadly storm, companies and residents reported at least 448 releases of oil, gasoline, and dozens of other substances into the air and water and onto the ground in Louisiana and Texas. The hardest hit places were industrial centers near Houston and Port Arthur, Texas, as well as oil production facilities off Louisiana's coasts, according to the Associated Press analysis. According to the U.S. Coast Guard, they responded to more than 3,000 pollution reports associated with the storm and its surge along the upper Texas coasts. It's been a busy seismic weekend. A pair of earthquakes jolted Tibet's capital and surrounding areas today, but there were no immediate reports of injuries or damage. The U.S. Geological Survey said the first quake measured about 6.6 and struck at about 4:30 p.m. local time, about 50 miles west of Lhasa. The second quake was 5.1. That was about 15 minutes ago. And about 3.5 hours ago, a third quake at 4.9 hit the same area. There have been no reports of any damages. A little bit to the north, earlier today again, a 5.7 earthquake struck a remote northwestern region of China. The quake struck just after midnight in the Xinjiang region near China's border with Tajikistan. The USGS said the quake was at a depth of about 21 miles. Apparently, there have been no reports of any damages or injuries. And one place where there were reports of damages or injuries is, unfortunately, about 70 people have lost their lives in Kyrgyzstan. A powerful earthquake struck the mountains of the Central Asian Republic on Sunday, a 6.6 magnitude quake. It brought down dozens of buildings. It was in the remote village of Nura. Apparently, they're bringing in helicopters to ferry the injured to a hospital in the town of Osh, O-S-H, which is about 60 miles away. The Russian President Dmitry Medvedev has ordered the Russian Emergency Situations Ministry to help Kyrgyzstan respond to the quake. So we'll keep our eyes on that. Also in Budapest, Hungary this morning, two passenger trains have collided, killing at least 3 people and injuring 30 others. A local passenger train ran into the back of a train heading to Budapest from the eastern city of Debrecen. The crash occurred near the town of Monorirdo. It's possible, according to the rail service, that more casualties could be found in the wreckage. And we have finally found perhaps a politician with a popularity rating lower than U.S. President George Bush. According to the Bermuda Gazette this morning, Premier Ewart Brown of Bermuda has seen his approval ratings now drop to 18%. The economy in Bermuda is now considered one of the top 3 issues facing the island. This is according to a new poll recently conducted. Crime remains the public's #1 concern. This, of course, follows several months in which violence has dominated the headlines. But now the economy has overtaken housing and education for second place. 17% of people say they have confidence in the island's economy, with 48% saying they don't. This is according to a survey by Research Bermuda. As Bermuda looks to cope with the global economic downturn, Premier Ewart Brown's performance approval rating has fallen 4 percentage points from its previous low of 22, now down to 18. Meanwhile, the Deputy Premier, Paula Cox, has seen an increase in her popularity, up to 75%. Until recently, housing and education have consistently been much more of a concern than the economy, with Bermuda residents complaining about the shortage of affordable homes and failing public schools. However, with the economic situation in the U.S. worsening, its possible effect on Bermuda now appears to be an even bigger worry. Well, why should we be immune? Everybody should participate. Unfortunately, we may have more breaking news the way things are going, so we'll keep our eyes on the economic wire, and if we have anything that breaks, we'll come back and tell you. If not, we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.